Ursula, uh, a topic dear to my heart, acceptance. I talk about it a lot, but sure, let's. It's usually acceptance and with other things. I'll try to focus more on acceptance this time. So I'll take advantage of this great gift you've given me to really focus just on acceptance more. Although I will branch off because everything's related. But so yeah, I often suggest that two great tools are acceptance and gratitude, and how to be in the moment and live a happy life. And of course, it all first comes from a real choice, making a choice to want to be happy and live your life to the fullest. But great tools, because we get the amnesia, this all comes all the time. It's this never-ending amnesia humans get. The best way to break out of that and really be in the now and to be grateful is first acceptance, because we can be grateful for a lot of things, but then we're not grateful for a lot of other things, so we swing and we get amnesia. So that's why we can have the most magical day where we just appreciate everything and everybody and in our life. We just appreciate it all, the past, the future, all of it. It's just everything is, we see it, we feel it, we're just being, and then the next day, we wake up and, we spill our coffee and that's it. The whole day's ruined. Or we woke up with a bad mood, we don't know why. Whatever it is, but then we have a totally different experience. We get amnesia. So acceptance and gratitude can help with a lot of that as well. But gratitude definitely helps, but the catch with gratitude is, again, we might swing like that, where we can say, oh, thank you for this and thank you for that, and do our mantras. But then when things don't go our way, then we bitch and gripe, or we stew in the mind, or we suffer, when we don't need to. So again, I always say acceptance, don't skip it. Gratitude is important, always, but it's harder to accomplish if you don't do acceptance. So acceptance really is self-love is the first order of business, really, I would say, and acceptance is one of the, probably the second or third, I don't know. There's no rules here, but importance for me, acceptance is huge. Because this whole thing, our suffering in life is a resistance to what is, a resistance that everything changes. Not flowing with nature, flowing just with what is. And it's a resistance, so accepting is when we accept things and flow with them, and we start to see the gifts in everything, even the tough gifts. So acceptance is so crucial, really, to as a tool for happiness and self-fulfillment, because life is just easier when you flow with it. We all know that. We all remember times when we just flowed with situations and it was just effortless and magical and wonderful. And then when we don't flow, when we get up in the mind, or we get into concepts, or we get into fear, or whatever it is, reason we're doing it, but we're resisting, we're trying to control something, or keep something the same, or whatever it is, we're not accepting, and we're resisting. And so when that happens, that's when suffering comes. And then we get up in the mind and we make it even worse, and we make it a problem, and where problems don't exist. So acceptance, and of course self-acceptance. You got to start there. That's part of self-love. So self-love and self-acceptance, first order business, really, for anybody that wants to have a full, happy life. And from there, the more you do that, the more it will be easier to accept. So it's always the best place to start, and to always cultivate that, because if you can't accept yourself, how are you going to accept this world? This is a chaotic world of expression. Anything goes. There's no rules here. So if you're going to not accept that, then you're against everything. Think about that. To not accept things in life, to have a lot of things that you don't accept, when you look at the world as this is wrong and that's wrong and everything's wrong, and no, I don't want this and I don't want that, and when you're against and against and against, well, you're against everything. So first of all, how does that feel? It's this creative expression of endless experiences and things. You're going to be against it all? Like, no wonder we feel way down. That's a lot to be against. That's why we see with the truthers, thank heaven the truthers are there for us. And a lot of us, we start with the truth. First we wake up to the truth of the world, and then we eventually that helps, but then something's still missing, and we ease into spirituality, and then we awaken to the, like I said, first we awaken to the truth of the world, and then we eventually want to find the truth in ourselves, the truth of ourselves. And but still, the truth is an important part, the truther type mentality, or not mentality, but way of life. Thank heaven they're here. But we also see that how it can weigh them down, the ones that really spend decades and they're just still fighting so hard, fighting. And we see the toll. We see the toll it takes on them. And we start to see they're shaping their experience. And then, So my only point, I'm not trying to, say anything bad about truthers. I'm just saying that there's an obvious example of when you're against everything. Geez, that's a heavy life. Excuse me. That's a heavy burden. Again, thank you for bearing it for us, but take a little, if you're one of them, take some of that load off. Don't forget to enjoy your life. But yeah, so when we're against everything, and you're just against what nature and everything changes. Everything is shifting and moving and transforming and changing, and everything in nature and everything in reality comes from energy, and energy is always shifting and moving, and yet it's infinite. It never ends. But everything is a movement, and if we flow with it, the more we flow with it, the happier we are, and the happier we'll be, and the more magic we'll see. The more we resist, we narrow our vision. The more we resist, the more we suffer. So, acceptance, absolutely. Accept yourself first and foremost, because if you can't accept yourself, of course you're not going to accept any of this. Forget about it. Once you accept yourself, love yourself, then in time, it'll be easier to accept everything else that's going out there, because you will be free, and you will be more and more less of judgment. The judgments will start to slip away more and more. I mean, we'll always have judgments, but we hold on to them less, they start to slip away. And we start to feel so connected. You start to feel so loving and connected. You do actually see yourself in everybody. You don't feel as separate. And so the more you feel that, the easier it is just naturally to accept. So, acceptance. Right on. Great topic.